Okay, I have a special guest with me. This is Lee Falco, also known as my father. And I wanted to have a conversation with him to talk about his history and some of the things he's done in the computer industry and some of the people he's met, some of the places he's been, because I actually think it's quite interesting. So, hello, Dad. Welcome.
Thank you. Hi, Kobe.
Maybe ask you to provide like an overview of kind of who you are and how you kind of came about
Oh, you
and
mean
how you
a little bit of the resume kind of thing?
yeah, a little bit of the resume. We start there and then we can like start into kind of the earlier years and work
Okay.
our way up.
Eventually, I got an opportunity. I was working as a salesperson, a sales rep for a company that dealt in early computer technology, very early.
Now, what
And
year, just real quick, what year are we talking just to get
I was
perspective?
going to say, I think this was in the mid 60s.
The mid 60s. Okay, that's actually
Right.
helpful.
Yeah, it was a company called Telautograph. And this company had been started in like 1895.
Oh, wow.
One of the first actually analog computer data systems in the world. And you can look them up, Telautograph. And I don't know if they're still in business. They obviously were big. They were the ones that transmitted data via analog, and it was a handwritten message, but they pre-printed forms. So depending on the application, you could do it. It was early. It was way before digital computers, way before, and
It's
before I
really
was
cool.
born as well.
Yeah.
I wasn't there, but anyway, in my mid 20s, I got an opportunity through a sales manager, and he promoted me. And I was in Houston, Texas, and he eventually got another opportunity. My director of sales, he
Yeah.
got another opportunity and relocated to southern New Jersey near Philadelphia and became an executive for a company that ultimately became GTE Data Products. In other words, General Telephone Company Data Products. And so he brought me from Texas, and I became the national sales manager for his operation for the GTE Data Products. And there we sold multiplexers, modems, both time division and frequency division, multiplexers, and all types of high speed modems. And the modulator demodulator is what that actually stands for. So we did that, and I was very successful, and had a lot of good people helping me with becoming successful. I got notice from an executive recruiting company called Corn Ferry, and basically they put me together. They actually seeked me out, and I ended up becoming going to Anaheim, California, and becoming ultimately division president of Lear Siegler Data Products division. And we developed. I was not an engineer. My degree is in business, but with some very talented engineers, we developed the ADM3 dumb terminal along with the ADM1 and 2, so a series of terminals. And the ADM3A dumb terminal, in my opinion, became a standard for the world. Going back to one of the magazines, I remember Datamation or Data Communications. According to them, we had 22% of the world market in dumb terminals, and this was an ASCII terminal, and most of
Yeah,
you
that
know
yeah,
what
that
that is.
was the clam. That was like that clamshell one that had the attached keyboard, correct?
Right. We actually developed that clamshell. That had not been done until we did it at Lear Siegler.
Yeah, that was actually a really cool design because it was
Yep.
kind of like a Volkswagen Bug of computer terminals, I thought.
I think we
And
often think that's where Apple got their model from,
interesting. Yeah, yeah, kind of that design.
because they had that design after we had it.
So that design was so popular. I remember as a young kid, obviously I got to hang out with you in your office
Right.
and see
Right.
computer terminals back then, but even outside of your work, when we would go to the what was before the John Wayne Airport, at the airport, there were
Yeah.
computer terminals there. There were Lear Siegler, and there
Right.
were Lear Siegler terminals in LAX. They were all over the place. It was
Well, they
it
were. Yeah.
yeah, it literally was global, right?
It was global. That's why I said 22% of the world market, according to
Crazy.
Datamation. And yeah, we really were doing well. I don't remember our revenue, but I do know that was 40, 50 years ago. So you can
Yeah.
imagine in today's dollars, it was
Oh
significant.
yeah.
Yeah.
Wow,
But
that's amazing.
anyway. So
That's
anyway,
neat.
that was I was there almost 8 years, or was there 8 years, and
And
we really we for a long time with the ADM3 dumb terminal, and we had a bunch of really talented people. I don't want to start naming them for fear of forgetting some of them, but they really are the ones that put it together for me and took my dream and made it a reality. Without them, I wouldn't have had a dream. Would have just stayed a dream.
yeah.
So I give them full credit. And
Now
so after that,
you worked your way up though. Like what did you started as what? A sales manager or something and you
no,
worked
I
your way
started
up.
it as a vice president of Lear Siegler Data Products Division as VP until we got it up and running, and then they made me president of it.
And then that was of the
That was
data
within
products.
a year.
Yep. And then um you were at that time, you could say you were comfortable. meaning meaning you could have just stayed at Lear Siegler. That's where I'm getting at.
Oh
Correct.
yeah, I could have stayed at Lear Siegler, and I was very comfortable financially.
So
Uh,
what
but
drove you then to like, that's the part I'm curious about, is like what drove you, because you could have just mailed it in if you wanted to, not that you would have ever done that, but you could have
right.
very easily just just gone out in the sunset or
Well, I
whatever.
can,
But
as gross as it sounds, I don't want to get into a lot of detail of this, but Lear Siegler corporate were very nice to me. They really did support my efforts, budgeted funding. Without them, there wouldn't have been a data products division, and they really did. I have, without Bob Campion, Bob Hahn, and Larry Larry Thompson, I wouldn't even have had the opportunity. Larry Thompson was a group vice president that I reported to. As I was president of a division, but he was a vice president of many divisions.
got you.
And so the presidents of those divisions reported to Larry. So he was quite the guy. And he's actually the guy that gave me the opportunity to say, "You're hired. We want you to come to work for Lear Siegler."
That's great.
And it was Larry Thompson, and God love him. I tell you, I don't know if he's still alive or not. But anyway, so what prompted me is Lear, their management was changing, and I kind of figured it out, because within a few years after I left, maybe just 2 or 3 after I left, they were acquired by a hedge fund and broken up.
Oh wow.
So I would not have been able, I wouldn't have, I wouldn't have been there anyway.
But at Lear Siegler, what were some of the cool things that you got to do because it was such a popular computer system?
Oh,
Like,
okay. Yeah, I can remember that. I did. Yeah, Well, I got to do a lot of good things, but I would say some of the most interesting ones is meeting some very prominent people. Um, our terminal was in demand by celebrities, and I was invited to the Playboy Mansion with my executive sales manager. And no, I'm sorry, not executive sales manager. He was the district sales manager for that area. And he and I went out to Playboy with the computer terminal to put it in what's the founder's name of Playboy? I forget his name.
Oh, Hugh Hefner.
Yeah, Hugh Hefner. We were supposed to meet him.
Did he have a computer room?
He had a game room.
Oh, that is so cool.
And he loved games, and it was beautiful. I remember it was a beautiful brick building that was detached from the mansion. Mm-hmm. And the carpet was a real plush red Scotch Guard carpet. I still remember it. And he had game after game after game, Nintendo games, all kind of games.
Wow.
So the publisher of Playboy was our guide. So the publisher of Playboy that worked for Hugh Hefner took us around and gave us a tour. And the thing I found interesting, they were butlers, and they were all men. We never saw a female at all on the grounds. And Bill Cosby and James Brown, the athlete, James Brown, were playing tennis on Hefner's tennis court.
Oh, wow. So what time of the day were you at the
lunchtime? Because we had lunch in Hugh Hefner's study, and even though he didn't join us, believe it or not, he was still sleeping and just getting up.
Oh, wow.
And this was about 1:00, but they were real nice. They invited us and we had lunch there. And it was interesting because we were trying to be polite, and they said, well, we'll just have a sandwich or something. No, is it whatever you want. You want a steak, you want a sandwich, you want whatever you want. The kitchen runs 24 hours a day, and it's got a top chef.
Wow.
Oh yeah. It was amazing.
Wow.
And the mansion, it's a huge mansion. And when you walk in, and we walked in the front door because he took us on a tour, there were two winding staircases. One went to the left, one went to the right. And that mansion had only 2 bedrooms in it. And each bedroom was 4,000 square feet.
Wow.
Okay.
Amazing.
Yeah. How about that? Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah. In fact, as you're talking, I'll pull up some pictures and show them. But yeah, I see the double staircase and the game room.
And
they kind of show.
If you're looking at a double staircase, the picture of it,
yeah,
his bedroom suite, if you will, was on the left. He was on the left. And we didn't go in. I mean, the man's bedroom, even though the thing was huge. But anyway, we wish we had got to meet him. It was kind of cool because we were in his study and there was a little box, a wooden box back then with a push button on top. And I said, oh, is this part of the game? And he said, oh, no, it's not. Just hit the button. Just push the button. So I pushed the button, and a butler came in to ask what I needed.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So there's definitely another world out there.
Yeah, there is another world.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
Yeah, that really happened.
It kind of freaked me out.
We did eat there. We did eat sandwiches, a deli type, sandwich, so to speak.
Now,
we did that, and then
the nerd side of me though wants to ask you a question. What were you attaching the computer to, or the computer terminal to? Was it like did you have a Unix system or a?
Would you believe we were attaching it to remember the internet was just beginning to pop up a little bit. You may not be aware of that, but it was.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what
There
year
was
this
time.
was.
Remember, there was a company called Timeshare.
No, I don't remember that.
Well, look them. You can look them up later.
Well,
Timeshare, I think,
trust me,
was Northern
timeshare is going to
California.
pull up a lot of other things besides
Oh,
a computer company.
well. Anyway, it was called Timeshare, and
Okay.
you bought time on their system, which was literally with a modem, and the modem would connect you to this quote internet.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
That's really, really interesting. Yeah, yeah. I'm kind of seeing
it's
on
long
Wikipedia.
before Google.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. No, I remember like bulletin boards and things like that for sure. Because,
yeah,
and then AOL kind of took it from there and put it on steroids. But
yeah. But this was even before AOL. But
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. Well before. Okay, that's
so
actually
that's
really
what it was.
interesting.
It was connected to a modem that went out to this timeshare because you could literally buy so many minutes, and then there was one outfit that sold CPU time. So
Wow.
you paid for CPU time. It was always the price models that they used, but basically, it was a precursor to what we know as the internet today. And
And
so
see, you had
we
that.
did that. Huh?
Yep. I know you had one other. You had one other interesting
Oh, we
connection
had
as well.
several. We worked with, which was really cool, and it was really quite an honor. We worked with Steven Spielberg all day.
Yeah, that's
Myself,
cool.
and our vice president of service. We worked with him when he
And
was
did you
doing
get
Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
and did you get to meet him?
Oh yeah, we worked with him. We
Oh,
had
that's
because
so cool.
he had us do certain things. You bet. Yep, he was wearing blue jeans, cowboy boots, and sports shirt and a cap. Yep, I still remember.
Wow.
And he drove a two. He had just done Jaws, which was very successful. This was his second movie after Jaws. He drove a 250 Mercedes, or the 240, the little grandma Mercedes.
Oh, funny.
Yeah. Only thing unique about it, he had his initials painted on the side. Obviously, very, very professional.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
funny.
And he was very nice, very humble, easy to work with, just a real genius of a guy. And so that was fun. Myself and Don Naples.
Oh,
And Don
wow.
did
I know that
Don
name.
did Don did most of the work. He actually got it set up because we set it up, and in fact, in that movie, we worked. The way we got the gig and got to work with Steven Spielberg was the property master for Close Encounters of the Third Kind contacted us about using our computer terminal in the movie, and then when he got to my office, he saw I had a bunch of cool looking pictures, space age kind of pictures, and they're in there as well. And you would see, if we were looking at the movie, I could actually point them out, and some of the stuff would look familiar to you, and you say, "Oh my God, yeah, I know that."
Oh, that's cool. I got to watch that again.
Yeah. And do you remember the posters of the ADM-3 and Star
Oh,
Trek? We had,
absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
well,
I got to show up.
that's in the movie.
Oh, yeah.
That
That's
picture
right.
off my office wall
Oh, yeah.
at the time, Ed Siegler. That's in the movie. And of course the terminal was a highlight because that's what the technicians were looking at when the spaceship was coming in and all that stuff, right?
Oh, yeah.
And we got to see some of the filming of where they used the smoke and they were coming out of the plane, out of the spacecraft.
Wow.
So that was interesting. And then Lear Siegler was actually Siegler purchased Bill Lear's company. Everybody always thought we owned the Lear jet.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
I did.
we never owned the Lear jet. We own the aeronautics part of Lear Corporation.
But is he the Lear behind the jet? Is that the guy? The same
Oh
guy?
yeah, that's Bill Lear. Yeah,
Okay, Bill Lear. Interesting.
he's the guy. So
Wow.
anyway, everybody wanted our terminal, and this is true. And I think you looked it up the other day. If you didn't, somebody did. I was telling a story. Um, he had a daughter named Chandelier.
Are you kidding me?
No, and she came out to the later data products division at Lear, and we gave her a terminal.
And so her name was Shandel?
Shanda.
Shanda.
Chandelier.
Wow, I got to look that up. Yeah,
Yeah,
Chandelier.
Shanda, Shanda, probably something like that. Very nice lady. And we had others. We had one guy that I can't remember his name, but he was a pilot for Howard Hughes,
Oh, wow.
and he came on a tour, and we were doing something for him. Howard Hughes was not involved. He was still alive at that time,
Oh,
but the
wow.
stories this guy told as his pilot for Hughes was amazing. He was quite proud of that.
Anything you can share?
No, I don't remember actually,
Oh, okay.
but he did have them. And he said Howard would often be his co-pilot because Howard Hughes could fly. He could fly about anything.
Right. Yeah, yeah.
But he was his pilot, this guy, and he had done a lot of work. So remember, they didn't know where to put our division, even though we were Lear Siegler Data Products. We actually were in the aeronautical division of Lear.
Okay. Yeah,
We
yeah.
were in the aerospace portion because they had no data computer stuff. But we did make one acquisition that was really good. I don't know if you're aware of it, but while I was there, we bought a printer company.
Okay.
And that was very successful. They had what they call the Hydra head. It's a print head that had been developed
Oh,
with
yeah. Wasn't that the spindle thing? It was like flat and it
no, this
spun?
was a Hydra
No?
head. It was like I don't know, 8 or 9 wires going in and then firing based on impulse.
Okay, I'll have to look that up. But real quick though, Chandelier, you are
Yeah.
correct. It says she produces electric boats. Her dad, founder of Lear Jets and Motorola. Wow, I had no idea.
But when I went to work for Lear Siegler, it was already bought. See, what's interesting, the Siegler Corporation, based and founded and operated in the state of Michigan, was a large commercial company initially in air conditioning and heating. And they grew and grew, and they started buying companies. And then they bought a lot of aerospace. They owned a mattress company. They owned a spring company. They owned ironing. I mean, and automobile parts and automotive stuff. It was a conglomerate. And that was Siegler. And then they decided to get into aerospace, and they bought Siegler from they bought Lear from Bill Lear. But they didn't buy the jet. They bought the aerospace, the aeronautics, the gyroscope. I think is what they bought. That's what he's for. I think
That's funny.
Yeah,
really amazing.
The founder of the, and not that you're interested, but the founder of Lear Siegler, the main man that put it all together, was a guy named John Brooks. And he was quite a guy. And I'm so sorry I didn't get to meet him. The year I went to work, he had a major heart attack and died about 3 months before I was hired.
Oh, wow.
But they said he was really something else, because I remember in the lobby of each division was a picture of Mr. Brooks.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So that's really the story of Lear Siegler. And, but yeah, that was, I think some of the fun times, like I said, because our terminal was so world renowned and prominent, um, we were also, remember the television show, like Chips, California Highway Patrol?
Oh
Chips.
yeah, chips, absolutely.
We were in there as well.
Oh, that's cool.
They had our computer terminals in there when they showed the dispatch or the computer area. You could probably find it.
Yeah, I'll try
And,
to see if I can find that.
there was another one we were in. I remember the director's name was Mike Racknell, and it was some kind of space oddity. Yeah, because we love that stuff, and it was good advertising for our dumb terminals. And so they just used them for the day, or sometime we just give it to them because we got good publicity, and people subliminally got that into their mind.
Yeah,
But
I like that.
interesting. So we got a little bit of Hollywood, a little bit of famous people. It was quite the thing. I enjoyed it.
That's really cool. Well,
And I
good. I
had
think we can.
a
Oh, go
chance.
ahead.
Now, I was just going to say, like I started out, I none of this would have happened if I hadn't had the people I had, because I'm not an engineer, and I am creative, and I had a lot of good ideas, but they certainly made it happen, and I'm very grateful to that, to
That's
them.
awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Dad. We can
Yeah.
leave this chapter. This will be the Lear Siegler moment. Well, I hope you enjoyed this stroll down my memory lane and my dad, as we kind of went through that journey talking about computers and his, you could say, somewhat influence in that industry. I was really proud of what he's done and the things he's been able to do in his life. And stay tuned for the next part, which is really going to be more focused around Falco Data Products and the journey that he went through on that one and what it took to kind of break break out of the comfort zone and try something on his own. So I think that's going to be quite interesting. If you like this, give it a thumbs up and remember to subscribe and take care. We'll talk to you later. Thanks. Bye bye.